So, hi guys. So I'm going to do a review on Young Justice number 8. Before I go into this review of this issue, I have to talk a little bit about Young Justice if you guys don't know what Young Justice is about. So, Young Justice is a cartoon show on Cartoon Network. And so far they only have 10 episodes aired. And I have to say, it's going great. Season 1 of Young Justice is really great. It's really good. The show is basically just has basically all the superhero sidekicks, like Martian Manhunter has Megan, the Flash has Kid Flash, Batman has Robin, Aquaman has Aqualad, and Green Arrow has Speedy. But in the show, Speedy doesn't want to be a part of a team. He wants to be solo. He doesn't want to be a sidekick anymore. He wants to go on his own. He wants to be his own hero now. That's what he wants. And then, introducing also Superboy, who basically is a clone of Superman. So, as the story goes in the show, it just has various storylines for each episode. Some having two-parters, some just only having one. So far the show is really fairly good. I actually really like it. And the comics and the show are very different, I have to say that, because in the comics they have 2 issues per one story. So, basically issue 1 and issue 2 are one story, and then so on, so on. So, as I'm reviewing issue 8, I didn't review number 7, so you won't know what the story is. So I'll talk about number 7, so before I get into number 8. And, so that's one difference between the comics and the show itself, but still fairly good enough. The show and the comics are really good. I really honestly like them both, and I highly recommend you guys checking it out. I'm going to get onto this review. So now, in issue 7, the show actually left off on an episode called Schooled, where the Young Justice crew is fighting against Amazo, who's a robot who is able to absorb superhero powers and is able to use it to his own will. And basically, the Young Justice characters are just trying to stop him and whatnot, fighting against him. And then in the episode, we're introduced to somebody, we don't know who it is, but you see an arrow and it's green. So at first sight, you thought, oh, it's Speedy or Red Arrow, because Speedy is Green Arrow's sidekick. But it wasn't. It actually is the character Artemis. Now, in issue 7, it talks about basically the backstory about Artemis. So issue 7, issue 8 is all about Artemis, because in issues 1 through 6, they already introduced all the characters of the Young Justice crew already. And in issues 5 and 6, they actually talk about the backstory for each character into how they became the sidekicks of their mentors and how they became to join into this team. So that's a really great thing that they got their own backstories for each character, but then they have a separate issue, 2 issues for Artemis, just only Artemis, because she's just getting introduced. Because in the whole comics, she has not been introduced. She was the only character left out, and we all thought that she would be in the comics because, of course, she's in the show. Why wouldn't she be in the comics yet? But I guess the creators of the comics are actually going along with just flowing her, like just putting her right in, just like how in the show she just went in after a couple of episodes. She was introduced into the group. So yeah, in issue 7, it just talks about her backstory, about how her parents aren't really, superheroes, because it seems to be like they're villains, they're bad guys, and Artemis sort of doesn't like that, and she wants to be a hero. So she goes around, wears this costume, calls herself Artemis, and just runs around fighting crime. And as she's fighting crime, she follows a Superboy to the fight at Gotham University or Gotham School or something like that. I forgot what the school was called, but I know they're having a fight in the gym with the Young Justice crew, and she follows Superboy in there, and as she's spying on them, these like monkeys are like on these trees, and like basically it goes into issue 8 where she's fighting these monkeys, and whatnot, and then she saves Kid Flash because he was getting squeezed to death by Amazo, and she shot an arrow, and basically Amazo had to use his phase through ability, so the arrow would phase through him and saves Kid Flash and let go of him. And yeah, that's how Artemis saves Kid Flash, but they don't know who it is yet. That's the whole point. And basically it goes on from there, how she's just still spying on them, and finally they defeat Amazo, and she goes in back home and tells her parents how she, not tell her parents, but she talks to herself saying that she wants to become one of them. She wants to join Young Justice, and that's her dream, that's her goal. And basically, there's not a lot of dialogue in this issue, but it's a really good read. It has a lot of, just good action-packed scenes, just panels and panels of action in it. So I highly recommend it. It's just not a lot of dialogue, so you're just going to have to sit there and just flip through. I mean, you don't have to literally flip through the whole page just to look at the picture. Just look at the art and how good it is, because the art is basically like the art in the show, so it's pretty good. And yeah, so basically she gets her wish later on because Batman and Green Arrow visits her, and she wants to join Young Justice, but she doesn't want to join them because of her past, because of her family issues, because she doesn't want the others to know who she really is. But she makes a deal with Green Arrow and says, I will join you if you don't tell anybody about me or about who I am. And of course Green Arrow agrees and says, of course everybody has their own secret identity. Not everybody would just not Batman would just go up hey, my parents are dead. He's not going to say that. That's a meaningful thing to Batman. He's not going to say anything like that, or stuff like that. But yeah, so they agree on it, and basically Green Arrow said that you were my protege and you're my niece. That's what I'm going to tell the others. But that's basically what he does, and he introduces them, and it goes into an episode where actually there's a part of the episode where everybody goes to the beach and hangs out, and Wally's stuck at home. Or Wally, aka Kid Flash, is stuck at school, and he can't go out, and basically comes in with all this bunch of stuff ready for the beach. But of course, in the episode, everybody's already done. Everybody's getting introduced to Artemis, and yeah, that's the end of the issue. I don't know. In issue 9, they're going to get introduced to Captain Atom, and they were going to have to do not a solo mission, but a mission to solve a 14-year-old mystery or a murder for issue 9, and I'm very excited about that. I wonder what's going to happen because, of course, you're not going to tease for the next issue. You just end it right here because there's only 2 issues per story, so it's pretty great. I mean, it keeps you on your toes and keeps you wondering what's going to happen next. But if you really look up online and see what's going on, then of course you'll know what's going on. But yeah, I highly recommend you guys picking up Young Justice. What I tell you guys is don't be afraid to pick up the issue. Just because, it's at issue 9, I don't think I'm going to be able to pick it up. It's too far in. Don't be scared to pick it up because if you watch the show, there's nothing to worry about because the show already introduces you all to the characters, and like I said, it's 2 issues per story, and the stories aren't really relevant to anything at all, so it's just a good pick up and read. I mean, it's for kids, but I highly recommend if you guys really like cartoon shows, this is really great. This is one to pick up. I mean, I pick up Batman Brave and the Bold, and there's only 1 story per issue so far, what I've read, and it's pretty good. Batman the Brave and the Bold. I mean, I don't really want to get as much because it's not something I like as much. I mean, I like the show, but just the comics, it's okay. But I highly recommend you guys picking this up. I mean, seriously, you don't really have to pick up issue 1. I mean, it's good if you guys want to pick up issue 1. It's great to collect all of them. That's what I'm doing. That's what I did. I collected from 1 to currently 8 for now. But yeah, so just pick it up. If you guys don't want to pick it up, check out the show. I mean, seriously, check out it's really great. I'm waiting for episode 11 to be coming out. It's going to be aired, I think, on the 26th. So next week it should be out. It should be out before the last New 52. So yeah, pick up Young Justice if you guys can. If you want to, you don't have to pick issue number 8. You can pick up issue number 9 next time it comes out. I'm just giving you a brief review on this, so just to give you an idea of what Young Justice is about. So, talk to you guys later.